Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're featuring this rather gorgeous looking Nomos, but before I get too far into a review, I want to point out that I'm going to leave a link on the top corner there and in the description to my Facebook page. So if you're interested in what I'm doing on my watchmaking course at university, it'll all be on that Facebook page. So anyway, this here is the Nomos Neomatik, reference number 781, is on loan from Nomos as they got in touch with me. So I've got to say a massive thank you to those guys, especially Christian, for getting in touch. So anyway, let's talk sizes first. We're talking a 42mm by only a little over 10mm thick. This actually comes out, I think 10.4 I'm reading on it anyway. The lug to lug is large, but it does help that it's curved and it sits really well on the wrist. You'll see in a bit is 52. The strap size on this watch is 20mm. Now it did come on the bracelet, but I'll feature that in later on in the review. So anyway, check the dial out. Just look how legible it is. It is such a crisp looking dial. It really does look good, I think. We do have this printed hour track and minute track going around there. Now the hour markers are fully loomed, as too are these rather nicely polished hands, and I have to say the loom is pretty good really. It lasts me all through the night, so I can read the time in complete darkness, so I can't fault it there. Now it's, I say, the little details. Look at the how the hands, you know, just sit so well against the cannon pinion. It just really sits down nice and flush. I say, lovely bit of polishing on. And then little things like the date window here. Now, sounds mad, but if you look at many watches, when you look at the date windows, you can normally see a little glimpse of the next number coming round, because obviously it's sat a lot further down from the dial. Because they make this movement, it's their own movement, they have obviously got a lot, you know, the tolerances they can stipulate, and this is so close it almost looks like it's actually flush with the dial. So the details, it's all in the details, and this has that. We have this sunburst effect going on, a little bit hard to see indoors, but there is a bit of a sunburst effect going on there. The subdial for the seconds at the bottom, we have this radial pattern work there, and most intriguingly is this 1000 foot here. Now this is actually a 300-meter diver, which is incredible considering it is only just over 10mm thick. It doesn't look like a diver, but yet you can take this proper, you know, full-on scuba diving, the full works. This will, it can take it, which is actually really surprising for a watch this thin, and almost, it's almost like I would consider this watch to be like a casual dress watch, I'd say. And it's really impressive that it can actually do that. So there you go. It's for little things. Now the crystal on top, sapphire crystal, ever so slightly domed, even down to these little beveled edges we have going on there. It just looks, looks and feels the part. There's no sharp edges there at all. The actual case itself, fully polished, and you can see this nice curvature going on there, which really helps with this long lug length. And as we come round here, we do have a signed crown, but it is very, very lightly signed. But it is also a screw down crown, because being that this is a 300-meter diver, what's nice about it, you can see this. If you were to accidentally leave the crown open, you've got more chance of seeing it here because you've got this little red indicator bit here. And it's it's things like that which really make the watch just that little bit kind of elevate it up that little bit. Screwing crown, there we go. And then we come to the movement. The movement on this is absolutely lovely. And this is a proper in-house movement. It was first introduced back in 2018. And it's a 27 joule movement. It's got 42 hours of power reserve, and it just looks fantastic. It's a bi-directional winding mechanism on this, which they actually developed, and it is just superb. A proper full bridge across the balance there, thermal blued screws. It's nice. I put it on the time graph, and now to be fair, I'm 100% sure of the lift angle on this. But I put it on there, and basically I think it was pulling about within a second which is really impressive. Because one thing they do at Glass Hutter, which is a little bit unusual, is they regulate the actual movement to 6 positions. Now, you may think, what the heck am I talking about 6 positions? But your watch will gain or lose time depending on which way up it is, due to the gravitational effect on the balance. And that could be why this watch is just so incredibly accurate. They regulate it to all these different positions, and obviously it's in-house, so they can be a bit more stringent over what they want with the tolerances. So it just looks for business. Now, the strap, as I say, this isn't the original. This is a John Keeley Black Island strap on this. It did come on this bracelet. Now, unfortunately, the bracelet was a little bit too long for me, even with the micro adjustment. There is 3 levels on this. One thing I like about it is when you look at it like that, it almost looks like one sheet of metal. It really does look good. It's almost kind of like a liquid metal, but when you articulate it, you can see it forms perfectly to your wrist, no problem at all. It looks like every one of the links is fully adjustable on this. I say 3 levels of micro adjustment. 2 slight criticisms though. It is a complete fingerprint magnet. As you can see, there's something about it. It really does attract fingerprints. And one thing to be aware of, you really have to make sure you press this fully down. Otherwise, you think it's down, but it isn't. You've got to make sure it is, because that's it, and it is. But that's just something you would get used to. This is a universal one, so it would also fit other models and other watches as well. So if you brought your watch with this, you could then fit this on, even Bob's watch here. You could even fit that on there. It would not be a problem. So it is food for thought. If you buy this with this option, then you can use this on other watches, and it does have quick release as well, which is a kind of handy function. But I have to say, I like it on this leather strap. If I zoom out now, we'll put it on the wrist and see how it looks. Quick wrist check. Yes, you've guessed it. I'm wearing my Nomos I brought a few weeks ago, which we desperately need to get a review out for that. And as you've seen, Bob has got the Draken prototype on over there. So my wrist size is 7¼ inches. Now, let's see. Now, many people... first, it looks fantastic. It does look really, really nice. Now, the concerns many have when it comes to the larger Nomos watches is the longer lug-to-lug width. Now, to be fair, yes, it is big, but look how it follows the contour of your wrist. It really does a good job of following it. So it doesn't look as oversized as what you think it would do. But I must admit, I do like it. I really, I think it's a good looking watch. But anyway, any questions, leave them in the description below. I always try and get back to them. And most importantly, guys, stay safe out there. Bye.